Video game add-ons and DLCs have been a thing for a long time. In fact, I can remember some of the first video game DLCs and add-ons, such as the Skyrim horse armor. What a success that was.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
In one way or another, we all love video game add-ons and DLC. Whether you're someone like me who absolutely adores story packs and story DLCs, or whether you're someone completely different who loves normal combat add-on packs, we can all in some way or another agree that more to a game is better. Unless, of course, that more is anything EA does, in which, please fuck off. Whether you're someone who's also like me and loves a game like Fallout to have a story add-on, or whether you're someone who plays the Arkham series and you love Arkham DLC, everyone loves a good, well-priced, brilliant DLC. And I think it's safe to say that video game companies also love making and producing DLC. I mean, after all, it makes them more money.
Money, 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 money.
And one video game studio in particular has been very known to make high quality, fantastic and enjoyable story DLC. And that studio is Rockstar Games. We can all remember, well, unless you're someone who either A, hasn't played the game and the DLC, or B, me, who has only watched someone play the DLC in the game, but anyway, I digress. We can all remember seeing people play Undead Nightmare and thinking that it was incredible. Some of us, including myself, even said that it is probably some of the best DLC ever made, and almost like a game in and of itself. Rockstar would make amazing story DLC for GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1, but as the cost to make their games and the performance of their games and the quality of their games increased, so did their time and efforts need to increase. You see, by the time of GTA 5's launch in 2013, Rockstar were not very focused on story DLC. However, there were waves saying that a big story DLC was coming out, and then it was randomly scrapped and disappeared. It turned out that sadly, this DLC had been scrapped for microtransactions. You see, I think it's somewhere between 1 million to 2 million is made every single day from microtransactions alone in GTA 5. This means that Rockstar Games literally have to do nothing to keep GTA 5 alive except add some slight new content variants to the online, thus meaning there was no need for GTA 5 to get any DLC. And I'm gonna be serious, I really couldn't care less, and I didn't care. To me, GTA 5 didn't really need DLC, there was so much in the game, and plus it had an amazing online, but I understood people's pain for the game. However, my perspective soon changed when Rockstar would release, personally, my favourite game of all time, Red Dead Redemption 2, in early 2018. Once again, fans were cooking on their seats, waiting, hoping and praying that an Undead Nightmare 2 would come to Red Dead Redemption 2, but it never did come. As someone who didn't get to experience Red Dead Redemption 1's Undead Nightmare until far later on, it really upset me that I didn't get to play a new Red Dead Redemption 2 Undead Nightmare, and to me it was quite annoying and upsetting. Red Dead Redemption 2's Undead Nightmare would have been absolutely incredible. I've never understood people who say RDR2's gameplay loop is terrible or boring, because in my opinion it has one of the best gameplay loops out there. Gunplay feels fun, fresh and fantastic, physical combat and fighting feels amazing, knife combat feels amazing, you can lasso, molotovs, bottled grenade sort of thing, firebombs, you can throw it, the ridiculous amount of shit you can do in RDR2 is incredible, and I thought a zombie story playing as either John Marston trying to escape with his family and Abigail, or Arthur, when he comes back from the grave, would have been incredible. I would have preferably preferred John, just because of RDR1 and how fucking funny he was in that Undead Nightmare from what I've seen. But oh my gosh, it would have been incredible. But that is just the very surface of this video, because this video is not about what if Red Dead Redemption 2 had an Undead Nightmare. This is about what if Red Dead Redemption 2 had multiple incredible DLCs. Because DLCs in Red Dead 2 would have been incredible, and we could have had so many. Red Dead Redemption 2 has so many points where DLC could have been implicated into the game. I do not understand why there was no DLC put into Red Dead Redemption 2, because I'm going to take you through some of my ideas for DLC. The Blackwater Ferry job, I'm sorry, but I was 100% sure that the Blackwater Ferry job would be a playable DLC / flashback / mission, and I know that there is a reason they haven't made it DLC, because geez, oh my gosh, the next Red Dead Redemption better have the Blackwater Ferry job, because there is so much I want to see with that job. I really want to see everything to do with the ferry job, and I really am sure that the next Red Dead Redemption will be a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 2. I think it will be set before, and I think it will be Dutch, forming the gang, and I think it will either start or end with either a flashback, or it will end with the Blackwater Ferry job. I mean, that's what they have to do. Rockstar, hire me, because that's what you gotta fucking do. I want to see that ferry job. That has to be shown. Now, if there was a Blackwater Ferry job, for me, it would last about 2 hours, this DLC. It would be a short DLC. It would be planning the ferry job, seeing a little bit of Mac and Davey before the ferry job, understanding their characters. Maybe 4 hours, I suppose you could stretch it out to. Planning it, getting it ready, setting it up, and then you'd launch in. I feel like you'd have to be playing as either Dutch or Arthur for this. You have to be. I think this because a Dutch perspective would be really cool to kind of see his psychosis and see why he kills that girl. You'd see it firsthand. And then an Arthur play would also be really cool, because you'd perhaps get to see the aftermath of Dutch and Micah sort of fucking shit up and having to go in there and save everyone. That would also be cool. Or you could have them switch between Dutch and Arthur. I just think it would be amazing to see, this ferry on fire, sinking, and Blackwater, on fire, and, this massive, almost all-out war between them, and Dutch, executing this poor girl. I think this is stuff that the Red Dead fans and community, including myself, would love to see and love to sort of get perspective on. Also, meeting Mac and Davey, I feel like this is once again something they'll do in Red Dead 3, but I think that would be cool to just see them and get a little bit of backstory on them and stuff about them. Now, the next major DLC I would have is when Dutch, Arthur, Bill, Javier, and Micah get stuck on the island of Guarma, and Sadie and Charles have to, run the camp back at home. I would have this as a playable DLC where you play between Charles and Sadie. Now, I think this would be really sick. Not only could you have missions where you have to retrieve Hosea and Lenny's bodies, have really a really sad moment of tribute to them. As Sadie, it'd be more about feeding the camp, sort of, making sure hopes stay high. Perhaps Tilly gets captured. Perhaps, I don't know, Abigail wanders off or something. Well, we know that Molly wanders off, so perhaps Sadie has to go and try and find her. Sadie has to move camp. Sadie has to protect the camp. And then as Charles, your missions would more be hunting focused. Maybe this is where Charles sort of meets Uncle a little bit more and goes out with him. Perhaps there's something to do with Trelawney and making a little bit of money to stay, out of the Pinkertons' way, out of their view. I don't know, stuff like this I feel like would be a very cool DLC. And also you could do a lot with the characters here, get to know people like Karen more. I feel like these are Karen and Pearson and I don't know, Miss Grimshaw. Perhaps we see Miss Grimshaw in her saddest moments here, because there's no Dutch, there's no Arthur, there's no Hosea, so she's really confiddled. She doesn't really know what to do, so Sadie has to sort of bring her up a little bit. I feel like this would be a really cool and sort of wholesome DLC, I would say, a really wholesome DLC. So the next DLC I would have is towards the very end of the game. This one would be quite short, I'd say like an hour, 2 hours, and this is where obviously you're at the cliff with Arthur, or you're not, depending on, perhaps they wouldn't show this bit just so we don't know what ending is the canon ending. I hate when they do that, unless they've already confirmed that. But it's you playing as John at the very end of the game, and you have to go and find Abigail, and you have to find her, and who's with Sadie and Tilly and Jack. So perhaps you have to fight your way through Pinkertons. Perhaps you nearly get captured again, and obviously John's got a bullet in him at this time, so you know you need to clean your wound and stuff. And I'd say, no, maybe you could stretch this DLC or add on a little bit further. You could meet Abigail and then, you know, split up from Sadie and Tilly, or perhaps you have to transport Tilly into Saint Denis, or perhaps you switch to Sadie and she takes Tilly to Saint Denis, something like that. I think would be really, really cool. And then as John and Abigail, you have to sort of lay low. Perhaps there's a big firefight. I don't know. I feel like something like this would be a really little cool tribute to just John and Abigail's relationship a little bit more, and sort of build a little bit more. So probably the final DLC I would have is a Charles DLC, and I want to see Charles escape America. I want to see Charles get to Canada. Yeah, overall I feel like seeing Charles get to Canada would be really, really cool. You know, perhaps he has to finally put some debts to rest. Like, perhaps he goes and visits Rainfalls, and you know, apologizes for everything that happens, and finally, like, Charles gets his redemption almost. You know, perhaps we see him have to fight to get into Canada. There's the final, like, perhaps Ross catches up with him. We know he can't kill Ross, perhaps, like, the Pinkertons have, like, this ambush for him, and they know he had something to do with the Van der Linde gang, and he's like, no, it's over, I don't want to fight you, and he ends up probably, but wouldn't it be sick? It wouldn't be sick, it'd be so sad, but wouldn't it be cool if Charles, at the very end, gets Ross, like, he has Ross, in a lock or something, he's beaten Ross, and he's got a gun to him, and he throws the gun away, and he's like, I won't kill you, because, you know, he's got his redemption, he doesn't want to kill anymore, doesn't want to be a killer, and then obviously Ross goes and, you know, uses John. I mean, that would be such a, oh my gosh, no moment, you know what I mean? But I don't know, it wouldn't really work, because, no matter what, John would have died in RDR1, because the Pinkertons were coming. They had him on their clock, you could say, so it was over for them. No matter what, but that would be cool. I feel like Charles having to fight to get to Canada would be cool. I feel like Charles having to, you know, take down some final bad guys, some final Pinkertons would be cool. And I feel like then having a time skip and just seeing him with a family of his own, perhaps just a wife and a child, that would be really cute and really cool. Also, his voice actor is so incredible. Massive props to him. I wish there was, and this would be like the longest one. This would be like 10 hours, because I really wish there was like a longer thing with Charles, because not only is he a great character, but his voice actor is impeccable, and he's just brilliant. So those are my ideas for a Red Dead Redemption 2 DLC / add-on packs. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you've enjoyed my ideas. I really hope you stick around in this channel. Please, please, please do subscribe. I'm uploading, I think, 3 times a week to 4 times a week now, so lots of content coming out quickly. If this video gets lots of likes, we'll say 50 likes, I will upload another one talking about other different ideas for Red Dead 2 / DLCs. If you guys liked the video, leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, leave a dislike, tell me why. And anyway, just comment down below anyway your ideas for DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay safe guys. Peace.